So hello again, welcome back to the world of Planetracker golf. We happen to have the course on a day when it's closed, so lovely quiet day for us. You know that my claim is that if you can really understand your golf swing, if you understand what's really happening in the swing, the forces involved, then you have the opportunity to make much more rapid progress. That's the claim, that's our hope, and that's what all these videos are about. I think we've got something pretty special today because we're going to apply the Planetracker hypothesis to your short game. Right. Now, using the Planetracker hypothesis, what we've done at Planetracker Golf is to develop a system for the short game. If you master the system for the short game, you can transfer all of those skills to your medium length irons, to your long irons, and with very little adaptation for your swing. So let's start with a short game. What we've got is one basic way of holding the club and three basic stances. So you modify the shot not by changing the way you hold the club, by simply changing the way you stand at the ball. It fits the theory quite nicely if you can take the time to just absorb what the theory is really talking about. I'd like to get something out of the way first. It's not uncommon to see people playing short shots this way by dragging the club through the ball. In other words, this sort of shot. All right? I mean, that's fine, and it's a traditional way of doing it. It's developed over the last 20 years. But more and more modern players have a tendency to use the bounce of the club a lot more. And so what we've opted for is a technique which uses the bounce of the club and also takes into account the fact that if you check the model, the club releases through impact, and if you drag the club through, you're actually preventing the release from taking place, and which is unfortunate because the release is something very usable in the golf swing, through impact especially. So we want to avoid dragging the club. We want instead the club to slide under the ball, bounce, and not dig in to the ground. Okay, now let's get into this whole business about one basic way of holding the club. Normally a person would just use their normal grip, come through and put their hands ahead of the club face and drag the ball through. The club head through. Now we want to release the club head through the ball, bruise the grass, and get under the ball. But to do that, we have to make sure that the club face is perfectly square to the target line as it hits the ball. We cannot afford any kind of grip which has this sort of slack in it. So the only way to do that is to have both hands working antagonistically against each other. The top hand very strong, the bottom hand very weak. So it's this way and that movement. It becomes like, there is the way to hold the club. It means you can actually extend your hands that way, extend your arms to create a perfect radius. Now the method, the technique, I call it the Neanderthal technique, or rather the alert Neanderthal technique. Neanderthal because that's exactly what a golfer looks like when he's at the ball. And alert is a mnemonic that I use to remind myself of like a checklist before each shot. So I'm going to go through the three Neanderthal positions. I call them Neanderthal 1, Neanderthal 2, and Neanderthal 3. Neanderthal 1 is like the basic Neanderthal hunched over Okay, now remember I've already set that grip we've been talking about. That's all set, right? I've got that one sorted out. There's no way that club is going to be anything but square to the ball at impact. Neanderthal 1, just that hunched position, just slightly. I can't really feel my thighs, I can't feel my quads, can't feel my hamstrings. I'm just bent over, and I'm going to hit the ball with that, making sure that I release through. So it's there. I've got a particular position for the ball. So here we go. Alert. A stands for axis. So I have to make sure that my axis, my left hip is turned left, turned back, so that my axis, my rotational axis, is straight, as discussed in earlier in the video. That's the first thing. L stands for lock. So I lock that position in. In a full shot, it would be a lot more fluid, but in a chip, you've got to lock that axis into position. E stands for extension. I extend my arms to create a perfect radius around my axis. If my arms do this, is no good. If they're too floppy, I extend them. A, L, E. R stands for release. I've got to remember to release the club through the ball. And T is for I hit the ball by turning my X around my axis. So there we are. Axis, lock, extend, release, turn. That's how that's shot. That's called the Neanderthal 1. Okay, Neanderthal 2 is a more bent position. It's what you call the athletic position. It's much more like the full swing, and so it's the full swing is really executed in Neanderthal 2 position. So crouch down, I can start to feel my quads here, and I can start to feel my hamstrings. The quads and the hamstrings work against each other to keep control over that. So very athletic position. So here we go. And apart from that, the grip hasn't changed and the alert system hasn't changed. So here we go. Now this shot is designed to go a little bit higher. Okay, and it will go higher. Nothing has to change except the way you're crouched at the ball. You may have to put your hands a little bit further down the club to feel comfortable. Position is there. Well, here we go. I'm crouched, Neanderthal 2. I've got my axis set. I lock it into place. There. Check the ball position. There. Axis locked. E extend. R remember the release. And T is turn through the shot. So that produces a much higher flight of ball. Not super high, but a higher flight. And in fact, I would say that most golfers should try and master the Neanderthal 2 position and the Neanderthal 2 shot. Now this brings us to Neanderthal 3, the Neanderthal 3 shot. The Neanderthal 3 is taken in the Neanderthal 3 position, which is super crouched, legs quite wide apart, very, very low. Boy, I can feel very tense in my quads, super strong in my hamstrings, and those, I can't move, all right? That is the Neanderthal 3 position. Now, in the Neanderthal 3 position, you're trying to send the ball really high. And but everything else is the same. Same grip. I have to put my hands further down because otherwise I would be like this at the ball, which is ridiculous. I want to be there, there. Here we go, alert. Axis. Lined up, that's good. I know that that is my ball position for all shots. Locked. E for extend. R for the release here is going to be pretty exaggerated. This goes pretty high, comes up pretty high, and then turn. Here we go. The ball goes up and stops as it lands. Neanderthal 1, Neanderthal 2, Neanderthal 3. Now the shot that you choose depends very much on where the ball is, what the lie is like, but ultimately all of the short game is played with those 3 shots.
We're getting ready for the championship round.
Locked. E for extend. R for release. I'm going to release through the ball and I want to turn. Yeah, that'll do. Neanderthal 1. Notice how it went quite low and it ran all the way to the pin. Neanderthal 2, same flag. Same process, same grip. Axis, locked. There, I'm in Neanderthal 2. Axis, locked, extend, release, mustn't forget the release, and turn. I'm going to turn through the shot. So that went higher, a little bit short, but you get the basic idea. Okay, so this is Neanderthal 3, very crouched, very wide, hands very low. A for alert, which is got my axis sorted. Yeah. I've got that locked in, good. There it is. E for extend. R for release. It's a full release on this one. And T for turn. A little bit far, but that's the basic idea. Here I've got a problem. I can't hear. The ball might have landed here. You know, my pitching wedge from way back there, from 100 meters, might have landed here. What have I got? I've got this branch here in the way. There's no way I'm going to do a Neanderthal 3. Forget it. I'm not that comfortable about letting the ball go up in the air, so I'm going to do a Neanderthal 1. So I pick out a club which will keep the ball fairly low. So it's a Neanderthal 1. And I choose the Neanderthal 1 position, and I just do the Neanderthal 1 thing. Alert. A, L, E, R, T. And there's the problem. That landed just on the, but I had to keep the ball low under this branch. So there, you know, every ball, every lie presents its own problem. I'll try that again. Neanderthal 1. A, L, E, R, T. Still did the same thing. You see, the choice of club was all wrong. You have to choose the club that will do the job, and in this case the branch. So that's the appeal of golf. When you have the short game like this, you've got the technique, you've got the shots, and you have to choose the right shot. That is the value of having a good short game. The technique is available to everybody. It's called the Neanderthal alert technique. The skill comes through practice. And you are going to go away from this video, and you're going to go away and practice, aren't you?